Hello, 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 everybody. Get in this room. Get in the room. Come on in this room. Hey Travian, how you doing? Hi Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you? How's everybody? Hey Zima,
Hello, hello.
how's
I'm
everything?
great.
He's sitting on an he's joining us from an island somewhere in the which islands are you in now, Zima?
I'm in Formentera, Spain.
Oh,
Exactly.
you
I
in
thought you were
Spain.
yeah, I thought you used to be in Palma de Mallorca, but
Yeah, I move around. This is AI generated, by the way.
okay.
Yeah, because people will come and say, "Oh, I just love your
Background.
house. I love the view of your
Yeah.
house." You
Um
know.
well tell us, I've known Zima for maybe 15 plus years. So Zima, why don't you tell everybody who you are, what you do? We've worked together on multiple different projects. But Zima is one of the geniuses that I have in my life. So
Okay.
Zima, go ahead and tell them who you are, what you do.
Yeah, thank you. I'm the co-founder of Zima Media. We're a boutique marketing agency that solves all those difficult challenges businesses need. And we help businesses with everything, really. For the price of a marketing employee, you get to hire Zima Media and have a full agency. So there's a lot of value there. Hiring is difficult. You get burned by freelancers. You get scammed by agencies that don't know what they're doing, and you're expected to do all of that on top of running a business. We help simplify your marketing and your sales so you can focus on growing your business and other profit centers.
Now tell them a little bit how you are also a Bitcoin genius, an AI master, because we'd like to have you actually, give some insight on where AI is going right now. I know you're deep into that, and you activated that inside
Yeah.
what you do for a business. So why
Yeah.
don't you, give a little dissertation on that?
Well, you have to understand that we're all competing for energy. The electricity you use in your home, you have those blackouts, rolling blackouts, this, that, or whatever. But when you look at AI in particular, let's just talk about the AI piece. A nuclear power plant generates up to 2 gigawatts of electricity. You know, when Back to the Future, I need 1.2 gigawatts of electricity to go back in time. That's a
Right.
nuclear power plant, right?
Okay.
And AI is growing exponentially. In the next 5 years, with NVIDIA making all these AI computer chips, they're estimating they're going to need to build between 5 and 15 nuclear power plants. And this is just talking about America, right? So that's a ton of electricity, and it takes a long time to ramp up nuclear energy. There's a lot of red tape. So AI is competing for the energy we already have, and energy is scarce because there's not enough to go around because the ramp up to build the energy takes a long time. Now, on the other side of it is you have cryptocurrencies or proof of work cryptocurrencies, the only one like Bitcoin. It uses a lot of electricity too. It's a top 10 country by energy consumption. You're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars of computers all over the world, decentralized. You don't know who these people are. They're just mining Bitcoin, and they're also competing for energy. But
Right.
there's two sides of the coin here. When you look at artificial intelligence, if you look at Jeff Booth's book, The Price of Tomorrow, you have three factors at play when you look at technology. You have CPU chips, you have internet speeds and bandwidth, and you have hard drive space. All of those are going to zero, right? This is why Amazon's business is being disrupted. One of Amazon's largest businesses is cloud computing. They make a ton of money on that. Now it's just getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to where you can just have your server and your cloud in your house. So that's disrupting it. So AI is supposed to make everybody a trillionaire, but the technology that makes AI possible is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And pretty soon your iPhone is going to have a really smart AI. Maybe not Siri, but somebody smarter than Siri. Now, the thing that, and now just to kind of conclude on that thought, but what makes Bitcoin a little bit more scarce in terms of the energy is people think it's like, oh, it uses a lot of energy, it's bad for the environment. There's a lot of case studies uh, covering stranded energy if you want to look into this. For example, there are villages in Africa where a power company won't move in there because it's not feasible. They don't have enough customers to build up a small little solar power plant and make a little bit of money because electricity doesn't generate that much money. But when you plug that in with a Bitcoin miner, hey, we want to use that energy. We'll buy the extra energy you're not selling to mine Bitcoin. That makes getting energy to stranded locations more profitable. That makes harvesting energy in stranded locations more profitable, like oil and gas runoff and burn off. They burn and flare a ton of gas. And the thing is, if AI is going to zero and everything is going to be free and we're going to be living in, like in the Jetsons, how is anyone going to make money? But Bitcoin is actually linked to profit and greed. Because the underlying thing to Bitcoin is greed. It really is. The only reason people are keeping the computers on because there's greed involved. And that's what's beautiful about it.
Well, I guess we're greedy because we have Bitcoin, and Zima's been in Bitcoin since the very inception. What price did you start buying your Bitcoin, Zima?
I don't know. Like I had a really bad boating accident, and a lot of things happened.
So what,
uh,
25 cents? Did you get it at like 25
no,
cents?
no. I started consulting in Bitcoin. Right, I would start doing proposals and say, hey, this proposal is like 2 Bitcoins, 3 Bitcoins. Let me just do that and get the ball rolling. And unfortunately, for anybody that's in Bitcoin, you never have enough. So that goes back to the greed argument. I think it's a really good way to open up your business to really ethical people. There's a lot of ethical players in Bitcoin, I would say, more than in regular finance. So if your business is looking to tap into new customers, I would say you should start accepting Bitcoin at your businesses, and you'll probably attract new customers, which will make it give you a whole new profit center.
I'm into that. So Zima also has Bitcoin ATMs all over everywhere. So where you can go buy and cash out your Bitcoin. He's had these ATMs. How many years now? 5?
Yeah, I love that. I don't have that anymore. I'm just
When?
focusing. There's there when there's a buyer, there's always a seller, and when there's a
Right.
seller, there's always a buyer.
So you sold
Yeah,
it. Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing. So I've always reached out to Zima when there's something that I had a question on, and he would give me the tips on what's moving. So I would always be able to get in right before the bull of a certain, crypto or whatever it might be. So check out Zima Media, Zima Media. They offer every service that you could possibly, need for your business. And Zima's brilliant. So that's Zima Media right there. Check it out. Just take a look at it. If you are having a hard time running your business, they will take that load off of you. Check them out. So, Laverne,
Zima, do you work with nonprofits as well, or is it just for-profit businesses?
We work for all sorts of businesses, and we actually
Okay.
work with a relatively big nonprofit out of Tennessee right now. He's homing people from the streets in Memphis, and he's retraining them and helping them launch online businesses. He's a former crackhead to serial entrepreneur. He's like totally turned his life around, and he's trying to make the streets of Memphis safer. So we work with everybody that has a good mission, no matter if it's for profit or nonprofit.
Okay. Well, it's nothing like a success story, successful story, especially for people that, changed their life around, that went from bad to good. And, that's always a wonderful thing. And thank you for helping people like that, because we all need help out here, for especially these small businesses. A lot of times we face so many challenges, and a lot of times we don't know who to talk to or who to turn to. So thank you for that. Thank you for that information. Also, if you're watching the hood, hello, I see Base and Bias
yes,
just
we
came
have
in.
been joined by Based and Bias.
Okay.
Hey, hey.
So also, if you're here, we ask that you please retweet the show. And also, where y'all at with the comments? Come on, y'all. Where them hoodies at? I don't see no hoodies in the comments. What is
Which
going
is rare.
on
Maybe we just
today?
can't see them because they're always in the comments.
I don't see no comments.
Yeah, I don't see any
No
comments.
comments.
So
What's up with these
don't blame the
comments?
hoodies. Don't blame the hoodies. So Based and Biased has a great background. Thank you
Okay.
for joining us. Why don't you tell everybody what you do and who you are?
Hey, well, it's I just want to thank y'all for having me first off, and sorry for being late. I've got this technical stuff. I'm out of town right now, so I'm trying to get everything worked out here. But I'm glad to be here and glad to join y'all. So I'm a retired Marine. I was medically retired from the Marine Corps back in 2018, and ever since then. um I gotten this passion for really just cutting through the BS that I've seen in our media, coming from our own government, uh, and
And we
just the
do see,
lies.
excuse me, but we do see that a lot. And it's so sad that, in today's world, what are we in 2025 and people still believe in everything that they hear on TV and that they see. A lot of times people don't want to seek their own knowledge, but go ahead on, Bates and Bias. Go ahead on and
Well,
carry on.
well,
Factual.
a lot of yeah, I was actually not really that I guess in tuned to what was going on until I got out of the Marine Corps, and then I kind of had a little bit of time on my hands, and it. I think what turned it around for me was watching the impeachment hearings for Trump the first time they were trying to impeach him. So I would watch these hearings all day, and then I would watch the news afterwards and hear what the news was saying. And I'm thinking, no, that's an absolute lie. That's not what happened. That's not what they said. And it really just kind of burned me up inside. I was very, I just got angry about it. And so then what do you do about it? And all I could do was just try to, voice my opinion out there and just throw my words out there into the ether, let it, sit out there. And that was a release for me. But, since X came along and, I was on YouTube a little bit trying to get that going, but X seemed to be a great avenue for me to reach people. And so that's become something that, I've focused on now, but I do want to get back into YouTube and streaming and all that here pretty soon. But really, my thing is to just really spend the time that people don't have to look through the actual all the facts and not just listen to the flyby media and flyby headlines, and get the truth and help spread that truth to people and help people consume that and help
And
them see
speak.
through it.
And when you talking about speaking the truth and learning the truth, one thing comes to my mind is how many lies that Jasmine Crockett spends just spilling out each and every day, looking like a total idiot. But that never stops her from doing what she does. And that's the same thing that I'm talking about, that people should
You,
really be aware, because anything that she could come up with against people that are actually out here making things happen, and also against Trump, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Some of her, uh, you know, um, the time that she takes to make these stupid ass videos that makes absolutely zero sense. But that's her and that's what she does. So yeah, we need people like that, like you out here, to help people out. Same thing with me and Travian and probably Mike also. We are here to help people, you know, so they can get another like outlook or another view, and stop believing the hype. Because in today's world, everything isn't what you see, or what you don't tell yourself to believe. Some of this stuff is actually not even real. I mean, even when you talk about reality in today's world, and then we have AI also,
yeah,
which is a totally different topic. But also shout out to everybody that's in the room. Hi, Raymond, Java, Actual Factual, and I guess House Paint. So, thank
So,
you
yeah.
all. Thank you
I
all.
don't know if
Everybody
did
for
y'all see my comment on Jasmine Crockett earlier. She said something about integrity. I said that she's got about as much integrity as her weave does,
I
but
know.
she
and we know
she
that thing is shot out.
yeah, but she's
Yeah.
not even from the hood. She acts ghetto, but it's all an
Exactly.
act. She went to a private
Exactly.
school. She went to a private prep school. She is a rich girl who, uh, got her way paid. She didn't have to work for nothing. And then now she wants to act like she's a victim and trying to, put on this victim mentality. And, I'll tell you one thing that I did grow up with a lot of people from the hood and a lot of people that lived in the projects. And I've spent more time in the projects than she has, guaranteed. And so it really
Well,
pisses
we
me
know
off
she hasn't
seeing
spent
her
any
act like
time in the
that.
projects. Okay, she just
Yeah.
talks about it.
But anyway, that's my rant. That's all. That's all.
So you're also a tactical instructor. Um,
Yeah.
A
so
what
we're
instructor?
we're a guns instructor, tactical,
Okay, okay.
with like high level guns, right?
Right. So the V-22, I was a weapons and tactics instructor on the MV-22 in the Marine Corps. And for people who don't know what that is, that's the airplane that flies like a helicopter and an airplane. That rotates down and flies like an airplane. Um, you know, all the rumors aside, there's a lot of stuff people say about how dangerous it is and everything. It had some problems at the beginning, but it's the backbone of the Marine Corps now for insertion and extraction of troops and different things like that. And the Air Force also. The Air Force uses it. The Special Forces, Air Force uses it. But yeah, so I was a weapons and tactics instructor, which means I was an air crewman. I was air crewman in the back, and I was a subject matter expert on not only the V-22 but the tactics that go into how the V-22 is used in the broad picture of an operation. And so you usually have two or three crew chiefs that are weapons and tactics instructors in a squadron, and usually two or three pilots that are weapons and tactics instructors in a squadron. And so whenever there's an operation, those will be the ones who do the mission planning and all the high level work that gets done and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's what I did in the Marine Corps. And, it was just something that I was passionate about. I get passionate about something and I just go for it. I go all in. And so that's, the WTI, the weapons and tactics instructor, is basically the highest level of instructor. Highest level that you can reach for that job.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
You might
There
not
it
have
is.
been at the highest level.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to work my way up this way. So it's a
So
struggle,
where's
but
your tactical instruction, or do you have that platform now that you do it privately?
no, I don't do it anymore. There, there is some opportunities that I could go back and do some of that. I know they were trying to set up, when I was getting out, they were trying to set up a civilian instructor job for the new crew chiefs that were coming in. But yeah, the Marine Corps just kind of has a way of ruining everything that's awesome. Like, I loved flying. I loved being able to shoot the guns and everything, but they just, even that kind of gets ruined in some way. They just make it a job. But so I'm ready to move on to other things. I was looking, I would like to maybe, honestly, this is a whole nother thing, but I was trying at one point to get a private security thing set up to go down to Africa, where the Muslims are attacking all the Christians down there. And I don't know if you are familiar with the genocide that's happening down in Africa right now with the Christians. But I was trying to look at funding for, from USAID or whatever I can get, and how to set up maybe a security force to go down there and help. But that was just a side project.
Well, did they help you?
No, I mean, I never really got anywhere with that. Unfortunately, I was trying to reach out, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get enough information, or
But one thing we know, that's one of the pots that got cut.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have been interested anyways. It's because it's not part of their. They only want to spend money on what's
Right.
going to help
Right. It had
the
no.
U.S. government's, agenda around the world. They don't really care about genocide. They only care about it when they can use it for their benefit.
Exactly. Which
It-
leads us into the first clip. G, roll it.
You know what it's like living in a country where half of the people hate it? They actually hate our military. That's the weirdest shit. We have the most badass fucking military in the world. You know what it's like how to see people just so easily fall for propaganda. You open up TikTok and there's a post. Oh my God, they just bombed Israel. Motherfuckers like you are in the way. I have a newfound love and respect for the fucking military. Do you know the type of intelligence and smarts and tenacity and courageousness it takes to fly a fucking military jet plane with precision? Those people are fucking smart. And they're protecting your ass. And you hate the fucking military, the best military in the world. People like you are in the fucking way because you guys lack courage. You hate this country so much, but you're still fucking here. The only thing you're good at is fucking Crayola crayons and writing on construction paper talking about I protest fucking blue hair. Y'all ain't doing shit. You're in the fucking way. Get the fuck out this country so we can handle our fucking business.
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Hey, good on
You
her.
know,
Yeah.
I guess she said it all. She said it all. You know,
Yeah, that's just like the entrepreneurial mentality. Because if you think about it, you're a sovereign when you're in the military. You're fighting for yourself. You're fighting for the people around you. It's like it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate American thing you can do. There's nothing else. Like just guys in Congress.
of course, it's so many communists, and clearly a lot of them don't give a damn about this country. That's why they need to get voted out. And speaking of vote out, didn't Kumo lose his race?
Roll that clip, G.
We got work to do, people. We
Yes.
got work to do.
I mean, it was a landslide. Not even close. Not even
So,
close.
that should send messages to let California know that they actually have a shot at getting rid of Newsom.
Right.
And a lot of these people that are in Congress, that really hate this country, they need to go too.
Well,
They really need to go.
G, do you have that clip, please, about the
Thank you, actual factual, for
in New
reposting the
York?
stream. If you're out here, please repost the show, people. Help us out. Repost this show. Let's get it out. It's a lot of things we need to talk about, and there's a lot of things that people need to know. And we are the show that's going to do it, and we're not going to apologize about it.
To
And also,
nobody
while I'm at it,
ever.
this my disclaimer that what's my disclaimer, Traven?
Uh,
Uh,
One's opinions are their own. Well,
That part. Now, wait. Before we go any further, right? I just want to touch on something that Basin Bias said. Something that he mentioned and brought up, right? Because people need to understand, and you really need to understand BS when they trying to slide it on by you. Okay, like this, right? So remember when Michelle Obama when she did that interview and they asked her why didn't she show up in the inauguration and she said she didn't have anything to wear.
right.
So
Okay.
you
Well,
talking about somebody that's got like several mansions across all around the world or whatever, but you couldn't find a damn thing to wear. That was that's like
I don't know if that's what she said. She said that she didn't go because she wanted that piece for herself, so she intentionally didn't pack anything to wear.
no, on something I saw, and
Okay.
I don't have it. I don't have that clip. On something I saw, she said she couldn't find anything to wear. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like they just throw it out there and think people supposed to believe it, or
Right.
even like when she. I also saw a video that she did, and she said that when her girls Sasha and Malia leave the house, she's so afraid for them that the police may pull them over, and she doesn't know if they're gonna come back home safely or not. See, that's the kind of dumb shit I'm talking about, that they just throw on out there and just say anything like we are all gullible as hell and we supposed to believe that. Now everybody know that when your kids leave the home, they leaving with secret services with them at that time, right? Now, no police was about to pull these girls over. They already had Secret Service with them. So what the hell was she talking about?
I'm not sure if the kids still have Secret Service at this point, but it doesn't matter. The kids are Sasha and Malia Obama. So once that officer, whoever it may be, sees that identification, even if they were pulled over, there's not going to be any turmoil, but she has to say this to continue to like purport the victimization of Black people and that
That's
relation,
what I'm saying.
and it's unfortunate, but Michelle Obama and Barack Obama's game, like the jig is up on them. Like nobody right now, even Black people have come to the mindset of Barack Obama never did anything for Black people. He's not the most
Nothing.
loved as he once was purported to be. So I don't know how much power they have, especially now. I think all she has is a podcast or whatever it is, but there's no significant. I mean, they both are represented by agents, just like Kamala and Biden are represented by CAA, so they can get speaking gigs and make money and so on and so forth. But I don't think the Obamas have any power, and I think it blew out when Barack Obama was talking to the group of Black men and said that they should somewhat, in
Oh yeah, that
some
was a
terms,
wrap.
that
You're black and you should be voting for
exactly
Kamala.
right,
Don't you know Kamala's black just like you?
right.
You
So
should vote for her.
that insult to that group of Black men, and it was actually flagrant, and he was basically saying, you guys don't have your head on straight because you're not supporting Kamala, as if you Black men better do what we tell you to do. And I
That
think that
part.
was the beginning of the end for the Obamas. And even in Chicago, they don't carry the weight like they used to. So I really don't have any fear of Michelle Obama, other than the other thing, the stupid things that she spits through her teeth. If you've seen her podcast with her brother and her sitting side by side, they are both so ugly. Like they're both, like, it's sad. Like, fix yourself up, girl. You got money, fix your teeth. Like, she looks terrible, deranged. And the older she gets, she looks crazier. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's all the evil, that's coming out in her face for the 8 years
It probably
of her.
could be, and
The
and if you want to talk about all that, even then, Whoopi should have some of that too. Yeah, Michelle Traven said it right. Go fix them pair of buckaroos you got at the front. Tighten them things up.
fix your
So
teeth, you know.
yes, that part.
So it's like she's got teeth like jaws, like a shark. It's like ugly like that, and it really makes her face ugly. But nonetheless, G, can we get that clip, please? Can he hear us?
Hello, G. Are you there? G, are you in the house?
The producer is missing in action.
Mark, G,
Mark,
Mark,
which
G.
one of you guys are running it today?
I don't have any clips. I'd play some, but uh,
Yeah.
So where are you located, based in bias?
right now I'm in Alabama. I'm on
Okay,
a little vacay sort of thing. So,
okay.
but
Sweet home Alabama.
mm, yeah, I'll tell you what. This is my first time hanging out in Alabama, and I really enjoyed it. It's beautiful out here. It's awesome.
Huntsville is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. I've heard they've become like a tech, city,
Hmm.
so it's all going to happen, and it's all going to happen in the South. People
Yep.
are,
Yeah.
leaving in droves these major cities and so on and so forth. So the South is picking up all of these people who do want a better quality of life without all the bullshit. So
Hmm.
yeah, so
And
I
nothing is like that country lifestyle. I love it. I
Oh
had
man,
a
yeah.
chance to spend last week in North Carolina. I had a really great time. And
That's
I
my
just
home.
love it
That's where
being
I'm.
there. Just the scenery, the country, the trees,
Hmm.
the fresh air, and the ambience and everything about it is just so
Yeah.
peaceful, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
We
I'm
don't
a
have that in Chicago.
And
We
uh,
have corn.
nah,
We have
I'm
lots of corn.
I know, right?
yeah.
I can see
I
Garrett's.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Somebody say Huntsville is my stumping ground.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna check it out because I've just been hearing so much about Huntsville, and the boom hasn't hit it to where the real estate is too high for you to go down
Okay.
out. Huntsville is definitely on my list of places to check out. And
Yeah.
it's not too far from Nashville, I don't think. So at
No,
least if
yeah,
I
it's
get into
close.
some type of city or entertainment situation, I could just, make that drive from Huntsville to Music City. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I had actually spent some time there last week. We're launching what actually one of the Eagles is launching a solo project, and he's
Oh,
based
cool.
in Nashville, and so we are actually working towards that first single release, July 18th. Bernie Ledden, Too Many Memories. Put that on your calendars.
Too
All
many
right.
memories.
All right.
Great
Woo-wee.
Mm.
song, great song. But yeah, Nashville is it's Nashville. I will say it's popping. Like it's
Yeah,
Las Vegas with morals and ethics and safety and guns. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like Nashville is popping. It's definitely popping. So
yeah, yeah. I'm from
When I
Louisville
think of
originally,
when
so
I think of popping, I like North Myrtle Beach, South
ooh.
Carolina. I just
See,
love
that's
it
where
there.
I'm located near there now. I live right up the coast from Myrtle Beach, and that is
Okay.
popping. North Myrtle Beach is popping in a whole different way, though. It's
like what
uh they it's getting pretty ghetto up there right now. Actually, um,
Really?
yeah, they they had a bunch of shootings. I was actually there a few weeks ago, and then like the day after I left, they had this big shooting out on like the strip, out on the main drag, where like three people got shot. So
wow.
it's
Sound like Miami. But anyway.
yeah, I mean it's kind of turning into that.
Well, I don't know where the producers are with our clips, but I'm just gonna go ahead with one of the clips that I had sent for us to talk about today. If you roll through X, the most pertinent topic trending right now is the mayoral primary in New York with Zoran, who blew out Andrew Cuomo, and people being so upset that him as a Muslim, um, possibly being the next mayor of New York City, it sparked this wave of anti, Muslim, anti, um, you know, whatever they want to call it. But now the key words being used on X right now are jihadist, terrorist, Islam, and Muslim. And I think it's sad in a way because they're even trying to force a law to where people like Zoran can't run for office. And what is worse about this is this man won fair and square. He won by a landslide. And because this man has a different point of view from, I guess, conservatives, and I'm going to say that because it's all conservatives who are pushing this agenda right now on X. They want to change the law so this type of man can't run. But New Yorkers voted for him. Americans voted for him. Even Jewish people voted for him. So it's this type of situation that I'm looking at all of my peers on X, and I'm asking myself, okay, well, no, I'm just going to say it. So, as a black conservative, sometimes you have to look over racism to get to where or what's best for your country. So, it's not that I don't believe that racism exists inside the conservative Republican Party. I know it does. Sometimes I go to some of these meetings with these women who are heavy conservatives and I feel like I'm at a Klan rally. Real talk. But I overlook that to get to what's best for the country. Now, democracy worked for this Zoran, okay? He ran an election. Apparently, he ran a hell of an election because he beat Mario Cuomo extensively. But why is it that all over X, this man is now a jihadist, and I don't know anything about him. I never followed him. I never followed his campaign. I know he's from Uganda. He was born in Uganda. He's been in New York about 8 years. Um, but I'm trying to figure out where did all this hidden, you know, you can call him a communist, but when jihadist is one of the number one trending words on X, we have a problem, because you can't get mad when democracy works for you, or works for somebody else, because it always works for you. We can't get mad at that. This man won this election, and it brought me back to the point of when I was a Democrat, how I used to look at the Republican Party, because that's what I have right now are the memories of why I always looked at the conservative and the Republican Party like I did. Because right now it's prevalent. It's all you have to do is scroll. You're gonna see it. Jihad, 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 Muslim, jihad, 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 Muslim. So why can't he just be a communist who won a primary in New York by a landslide? Because jihadist in America, talking about an American, is a racist word. And the fact that all of these conservatives, all of them, every white conservative is posting the same thing like they were on a timer. I want to know, when is it going to be possible for all of these white conservatives to look at themselves, give this man credit where it's due, because he won that election and he won it fair and square. You can disagree with what his views are, but right now, X is a racist bloodbath. And I'm very disappointed, because I thought, when Trump got in office, you know what, maybe we could get past all of this. But if you look at it right now, if you scroll through it right now, they are being racist towards a man who won an election. Call him a communist. I don't know what his views are. If I'm hearing right, and he is against getting rid of illegals, or if he's for a trans surgery or trans surgeries for kids, I'm against that. But this is still supposed to be a democracy. And Americans don't get to change a law all of a sudden because a man used those same laws, won an election fair and square, and is now one of the leading, mayoral candidates in the city of New York. I'm just at this point, I just want to put up a mirror in front of everybody, because I'm thinking, because as flagrant as it is throughout X right now, I'm thinking y'all don't care. And that you all don't care makes me have to reconsider what I care about. And that's the message that I want to send to white conservatives on X today, because y'all out of line. Y'all tripping. Like, y'all being fucked up for real. Like, it's almost like the mask came off because a Muslim won in New York. And I think y'all need to be ashamed of yourselves. But as flagrant as it is right now, I get that y'all don't care. And so I have to reevaluate my values for you all. That's what you all have just done. And that's sad. So that was my take on that. I'd love to hear Zima and Biased and Based.
Absolutely. I think you can't just rewrite the rules on the fly. You can modify the rules, but of course that takes time and due
Right.
process, like all those things that were taught in grade school. And it's really unfortunate. But if you realize what's going on here, it's deplatforming again. It's just taking on a different guise, right? You're deplatforming anybody, and they just weaponize that, and they're using the same hateful rhetoric. But if you look at that's the macro picture, but on the micro picture, what I'm seeing is small businesses are getting deplatformed by Google, not because they're saying things or they're not ethical or they're not doing anything. It's just trends are changing. Everyone's saying X is going to be this new media. It is to a point, but people and businesses are getting deplatformed on Google. People are not going to Google anymore. They're going to AI. So there's this huge shift. It's not just oh, this politician or this business decision or this business has a logo for June or whatever. Everything is going off a cliff right now. that's what's massive. When I look at it in a micro picture, like I see businesses, thousands of businesses, and what they're doing online, like that same process that you just broke down, not to minimize like the win he had under his belt, but you're seeing that sort of algorithmic bias happening to businesses, right? This is more of like, maybe it's bots that are stroking the flames here. Maybe it is actually some influencers, or everyone, they're just batting back and forth. He said, she said, uh, and it's massive. And before long, these algorithms are going to be controlling the macro, right? If it was just the bots controlling things now, just wait until the algorithms control the macro. They're already controlling the micro and what your business can do, if you can appear on Google or if you can run ads. And when all that comes together, like if we start looking at the Plantier and what they're doing there with their algorithms, it's just, I think the discussion is less about like what these people are doing. It's just like what's happening behind the scenes. Like, what people aren't pulling the
Well, we
strings
saw
anymore.
that before doing the first, Biden Trump election. We saw the algorithmic power of being deplatformed. I was
Mm-hmm.
I was suspended from Twitter 4 times. This is my fifth Twitter account. So
Mm-hmm.
we're already in that. It's just I think they pushed the button on it when they needed to be more effective. We've been in that mode, since 2020.
Well, well,
You know,
it was Cambridge Analytica too, way back with the
yeah,
Facebook ads. And
yep,
now it's that technology has gotten so much better and so much more accessible. Now we have more actors that can, maybe not execute at that kind of a scale, but they can execute any kind of a message now.
exactly. Based, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing against him, from what I've read, is just that he's a communist or a socialist. And to call him a communist, of course, is hyperbolic. He's a socialist, but if you want to get technical, socialism is communism, all right?
Right.
So that's the things that I've read, and honestly, I haven't quite seen all the racism that you're talking about, or my what I've been seeing mostly the complaints is that he's a communist, and that's kind of I have seen here and there some people mention that he's a Muslim, and that, yeah, it's dumb shit. I don't agree with that. Of course, I don't. You'll never see me sharing it. You'll never see me talking like that. But um, also, even if he is a quote unquote communist, that's not a reason to ban him from running for office. I
Right.
mean, you could say, he's only lived in the country for 8 years, so he shouldn't be able to hold office. I kind of agree with that if you wanted to go that route.
Right.
But you're right. There's many other valid arguments you could make against him than, oh, he's a Muslim radical. I don't know. I haven't seen much of, I don't know if he's said radical things in the past. I haven't seen him. I was kind of trying to search through here and see why people are so been out of shape about him being Muslim, because I don't think it would normally be a big deal unless he had said something uh, crazy, kind of like Ilhan Omar.
Right.
Some people did something kind of thing, but
But
um,
that's a whole different subject right there with her. Whole
yeah,
different subject.
yeah. But I don't know this guy. Maybe he has, and I think one of the things I read is he wants to take over the grocery chains. He wants to make the grocery stores run by the city, which I think that's obviously not a good thing. But so
But
there's, I don't know. Go ahead,
the
Truman.
thing is, none of us knew anything about him. And now he's
Hmm.
the number one trending situation on X. And he's number one trending because he's a Muslim who's in New York, who people right now, everything is heightened with the war with Iran and Israel. So anything Muslim, anything Islam is now bad. And
Yeah,
unfortunately, um, we're looking at a man who has been catapulted and name called when we didn't know who he was 48 hours ago, and now everybody has this negative connotation. because that's the engine right now that's being pushed against this man who worked hard,
Yeah,
who ran a hell of an election and won by a landslide. So this
yeah,
is
and
what this country is doing to this man. So if you're this man and you worked your ass off to get to this position and your country turns on you, who do you become? People have to realize this fear that they have is nothing but accountability. So
mhm.
I'm just going to call it like it is. They need to step off this election because we don't live in New York. We have no say who New Yorkers vote for. And if they continue on this path, what this does is it creates an anti, and it won't be against Zoran. So that's where I'm saying, look in the mirror, people. You're creating your own monster. That's what
Mhm.
needs to happen.
Well,
So
I think that's what they did with Trump. I think that's what the left did with Trump. They created that monster. They created their own demon, and he became their worst enemy. And
yeah,
yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. And I think people, I think people pay attention to New York a lot because that's New York is a big symbol of the United States in general. And
right.
whether we like it or not, I think I've actually never even been to New York, honestly. Uh, I've spent a lot of time in Chicago. I like Chicago, but so I think people care about what's happening in New York because even on 9/11, when they attacked New York, they attacked America, and that they attacked America via New York. So there's some sensitivity there, I think. But the other thing is, I think a lot of people just repeat stuff and they don't really think about it. They just see it, especially on the right. It's on the right and left, but
Right.
that's why I don't follow a lot of these you'll never see me following these big names, and I don't care about what they have to say. They don't influence me. I don't let them influence me. But a lot of them just repeat the same shit. They just one person will say something and they'll just be, oh, let's share that because it sounds good and it's
Right.
getting attention.
Right.
And so you got to look at that aspect of it too. I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily everybody's gotten racist all of a sudden, but I think there is some sensitivity towards the whole Muslim attitude, and especially because you see the Muslim population growing in the United States, and um, if you look at other countries where that's happened, where the Muslims have come in and gained a foothold, it's turned out in bad things a lot of times. So I think people are just worried about that um, that aspect of it too.
So it really, if you break it down, it's a loss of control factor,
Yeah.
and um, that, and just to be honest, as somebody, if I'm going to pull myself out of it, looking from the outside, it's too late. It's too late. You have Ilhan Omar, who has packed her district with nothing but Somalians. She's
Yep.
never going to lose, and they're never going to be able to replace her.
Yeah.
Okay, now there's going to be a wash and repeat of this situation. New York wasn't anything close to that. Real New Yorkers voted for Zoran. But what needs to happen is the sentiment, this sensitivity, this out, you know, burst against Muslims needs to stop because as a Muslim, we don't give a damn about what you say. We get busy and we take over. So what needs to happen is it needs to die down because when you infuriate Muslims, we can join, we make a plan, and we execute it. And I'll tell you this: most Muslims have morals and ethics higher than Christians. They don't wear, they're out not in the street butt naked. That'll never happen in our culture unless you're secular. You're not going to put yourself out on the street like that. But as a Muslim in this country, I'm highly offended. But then I'm like, okay, fuck y'all. Guess what? We're just gonna take this shit. So calm your asses down and treat us like Americans because that's not happening right now. And I'm not talking to you and I'm not talking to people who actually can see what's really happening. But I will tell you, it's a problem and it's not going to be our problem. It's not, I promise you, it'll never be our problem because we're not here to hurt, harm, steal, kill. We're not here to do that. We have a higher standard of morals. So all we're trying to do is add to the GDP of this country and live a great life and have the American dream for those who is possible for. However, the sentiment towards Muslims right now is just the opposite of that. So,
Okay, Nora. Hi, Nora.
hey,
How are you? Welcome. We see you out there. Y'all, please leave your comments. Please join in. And I see ignorant comment in the bottom. Laverne has her favorite piece on today. White's got to make Massa happy. Well,
what?
I tell you.
Hey, I was happy that she invited me on. I
I
was
know.
like, oh wow.
Tell you. Let me.
But you're
Yeah,
throwing breadcrumbs down here to the plebs.
yeah,
Thank you. I was
yeah,
oh thank you.
Yeah, we
I'll
want to
make
hear from white
Master happy.
people. We
Yeah, right.
everything matters. Like they say, Black lives matter, white lives matter too.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
yeah,
right.
we want to hear from white
And
people.
Muslim
What's the
lives
problem
matter
with that?
just as much as Christian lives. That's true.
I just want, for me, I always want to hear from white men because right now the archival structure or the art structure of America is run by white men, and that's fine by me. But let's talk about it. Let me hear what you got to say. Maybe there's something that I can teach you, and there's something that you can teach me. So I always want to hear from white men. I'll listen to white men before I listen to white women any fucking time. Like you bring a white man along and let me listen to him. You know what I'm saying? Because there's years of power structure that I can learn from, and then there's a culture that I have that white man doesn't have. So if we can combine that shit and make $1 trillion, that's what I'm about. I don't care. And then further, if black people and white people actually got together, nobody could infiltrate our politics. Israel wouldn't be all up in APAC and paying off our, congressional leaders. That's what, in my opinion, black people and white people need to get it together. Because if we don't, then the country remains divided and we get conquered by foreign entities. As it's standing right now, Israel owns all of our Congress people, with the exception of Thomas Massey and Margaret Taylor Greene. And what does that leave Americans? That leaves Israel being represented first and America's being represented, if at all. Because if you're not representing all America only, you're not representing America. So,
We would be one united. And
exactly.
Nora
Yeah, that's
says,
right.
"Auto pen lady, no arrest." And Taffy says, "I'm a white person who thinks Laverne speaks the truth for all of us." Yeah, baby, you know I'm on that.
Right.
We
Yeah.
here are on that. And
Right.
speaking of that, right? Let me say this. I want to tell Sheila Evans hello. Sheila, thank you for reaching out to me. And she let me know she watched the show and she loves you, Travian. She wanted to make sure I told you hello for her. She is in Maryland, and for me, um I always have a common sense approach about a lot of things. And you know, for the Republicans, and they always talk about everybody being independent and self-sustainable. But at the same time, when you say and you use words like that, everybody's circumstances is totally different. We are not all in the same bracket. We're not all in the same ratings or whatever you want to say, but you have to think about certain things. And I was on the show once and they asked me a question. I know they didn't really like what I said, but I didn't give a shit because it's the truth, right? Now, and I'm going to say it again. See, Republicans always come from a standpoint that everybody needs to be self sustainable, working or whatever, have a job or have funds coming in or whatever. But certain people have different types of circumstances. A lot of times people are taking care of family members. You have a lot of people out here with very sick kids. Sometimes the kids can have cancer. Some of them are autistic. Some of them may have all type of health related issues. You have people that are suffering from all type of mental health issues. You have people that have all types of situations that are going on in their life. And I don't care how rich you are. If you have a sick child and you have to pay those medical bills, they can be very overwhelming and they can really wipe out a bank account. Okay. So, with that being said, it's always great to think about somebody else, because they want you to be self-sustainable, but they don't say that shit when they running for office and asking everybody to donate to their campaign, you know. So that's like a type of double standard thing right there in itself. Donate to me, donate, donate, donate. But at the same time, when it comes to helping others, some of them they don't have that same approach. So for me, when it comes to dealing with people, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent. At the end of the day, it's about helping people that really need the help. So I'm saying that to say, if in and for a lot of agencies, and I do understand this, they do play, I call it the zip code game. And what I mean by that, if you're not from their zip code, when they sign you in or register you for their program, if you're not from their zip code that they serve, they're gonna turn you away. And a lot of times that's what make people so angry because they spend their day going from agency to agencies to agency trying to get help or on the phone calling places all day and they cannot find the help, even though these people, some of these agencies are receiving millions and millions of dollars in funding, but they're still turning people away, right? So with us, we don't turn people away. If they need help, they come. They being respectable. We're here to help them. So I don't care what nobody has to say about Tyler Perry, right? With that Netflix movie he has out, Straw, right? When you look at Janila or Jamira, whatever her name, that Tara, what's her name, Taji played the role as, when you see people that are going through those type of situations, a lot of times that is the outcome because the kids are sick. She had all type of circumstances, and I'm not condoning what she did, but still, we deal with those type of people right here all the time, and you have to really be able to talk to them. And get them, not just talk to them, to get them to listen to you so you can even help them in the first place. But if you are in the DC area, Washington DC area, and you have a program and you giving out food, and the people that don't have to be a resident there in DC, can you please reach out to us and let us know? Because I have somebody um in DC. She just moved to DC and she really needs some help. So if you can help this lady, please drop your information in the inbox or either inbox me on X to let me know so we can get this family some help. So, like I said, this lady reached out to me, and I'm just trying to give her some help. She's not here. If she was here, I'll be able to really help her. But she's in DC, and she really needs some help. So, like I said, this is a very serious matter. So, inbox me on X if you can help me help this lady. I just want to throw it out there.
Thank you. Thank you. Um,
And she's looking for food. What she needs is food, and they also need a place to stay. So, go ahead, Tracy.
oh no, I was gonna tell G to roll the Bongino clip.
Is G back?
Hello, G.
Mark,
Earth
G,
calling G.
why are you back there? Okay, awesome. So we have an investigation, possibly, maybe. Um, This one I think will be interesting. What was does this say? So they opened a criminal investigation into um, somebody in the intelligence office in the White House leaked the information about the American attack on Iran and how it failed to destroy Iran's nuclear uh, reactors or whatever they're building. And so now Bongino is now going after the person in the White House who leaked it to CNN because President Trump had said, "Oh, we bombed it and we destroyed it. It's a completely obliterated." And then somebody inside the White House leaked the information that Trump missed to CNN. And so I think I think twofold on this. I think President Trump shouldn't have told the American people something that wasn't true. And then somebody said, "Hey, he's lying. Let me take this documentation and give it to CNN." I don't think he should have done that. But if we look at a lot of this situation, Trump lied a lot. Trump put out a tweet that said, or a post that said, "Oh, Israel and Iran came to me and they wanted immediate peace and I broke." That never happened. Qatar, how you all say, brokered that deal. So we're looking at all these, false tweets from our president, and then he gets busted by some whistleblower or some, cheat or traitor inside the White House that goes and gives the factual results of our bombing Iran, and we fucking missed. And so now we have this campaign on X. It's so funny because Trump has his propaganda, Democrats have their propaganda, everybody has their propaganda. So in order to fight that propaganda of that leak within his administration, it goes to fake news. CNN is fake news, but those documents came from inside his intelligence department. So go ahead and launch the investigation. I'd be interested. I think the country would be interested in finding out who it was that leaked that shit. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, all right. So first off, just because that intelligence was leaked, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was true. And I think that's kind of what is going on here. I think because there are, when you look at sources of intelligence, they're not just looking at one source of intelligence and getting
Right.
their information from that source. What happens is you get a lot of different sources of intelligence, and then you take the whole and you kind of figure out what happened from the whole picture. I think what happened here is a specific source of intelligence that said, nothing was damaged, was leaked, but it was done purposely. It was done to damage our country. It was done to damage, and whether you agree with what Trump did or not, I mean, this what was done was treasonous because it was aiding and abetting our enemy.
Right.
And now, as far as it goes with the journalists, you can't force a journalist to give up their source.
Right.
The responsibility lies with whoever leaked that intelligence. And
Yep.
I wouldn't go straight to saying that, Trump lied. I don't think he did. And in fact, I think there's, everybody looks at those aerial images and says, "Oh, look at this, nothing was damaged." But that's not what happens. I mean, the damage all happens underground. You cannot see the damage that happens from a bunker buster from a satellite because it's all underground. You just can't see it. So I wouldn't trust anything as far as saying that we missed because obviously, nobody's heard from Kamini in about a week. Nobody's seen him. Nobody knows where he is.
He's all over everywhere. He's actually today, probably like 3 hours ago, posted, Trump said that
Posted.
he needs to surrender. And the committee said that's too many words for his big mouth. Like he's he's definitely
Is Kamini posting though? I mean,
but it's coming off of his official account.
right.
So
Yeah, but
Somebody,
I mean,
okay,
nobody's
house
seen the
queen.
man. Nobody's
That's
heard
what
the
they
man.
said. I heard the lead report was an early assessment and not accurate.
Possibly, but I do
And
know
I'm curious.
that Trump lied about brokering that supposed ceasefire that never happened because Qatar
Well,
actually did that. Iran is not talking to any American source.
speaking of that, though, remember how India said that our Trump didn't have anything to do with the Pakistan-India peace deal?
Right.
Well, Pakistan's now saying they want to nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize for the work that he did to broker that deal.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like who are you going to believe? You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's the thing. But I do know he did not broker that supposed ceasefire. Qatar did that. So, and then I just think sometimes Trump should let the, if he's going to make a move, he's got to, especially in something as hypersensitive as this, sometimes you got to be quiet because people will come out and prove you wrong. And Qatar came out and said, yo, bro, you didn't broker the ceasefire. It never even happened, but you didn't talk about it to Iran. We did. So I
Mhm.
think all of these moves that Trump is making, dropping those bombs on Iran, I don't, the whole country didn't want that. He did it anyway. You know, there's right now, you got to reassess what's really happening because all he ran on was illegal immigration and no wars. So when you can't keep that promise
Well, let
to
me
the
push back on that
okay, I'm sorry.
because let me push back on that with the
Okay,
no wars because I think that's inaccurate. I think that's something I've been seeing a lot of people say. He never said no wars. He said no more forever wars. And this was an important point for me because he believes in using our military. He believes in peace through strength, and peace through strength means you don't just build up a military and flex your muscles. Sometimes you got to use it. Sometimes you got to punch people and show them what you can do. And what he ran on was none of this, no more pussyfooting around with these countries, going in there and trying to mess around for 20 years doing these things. If we're going to use our military for an operation, we're going to make a point with it. We're going to use it to the full force that we have, and we're
right.
going to use it how it's supposed to be used. And that's what I've supported him on. And I think and he's been very consistent with that. Um, so it was never no more wars. It was no more forever wars. And it was meaning that he's not going to start some bullshit war and get, bogged down for 20 years. And I think
This
he's
up.
not trying to do that here either.
Right. I actually just looked this up and he did run on no more foreign wars. So that still disrupts what his campaign promise was. Um, Nonetheless, I don't want America jumping into anybody's wars. And that's the first, if it's not America only, because that really has nothing to do with this. Iran, if they do build a nuclear weapon, they can't, they don't have the range to hit the United States. So I'm I listened to Trump very carefully. And yes, maybe in some incidences he did say no more forever wars. But I know listening to this man, being connected to this man, I have to study him, you as his co-defendant, it's like you gotta study your foxhole buddies. You gotta know who's who, what. Trump actually said it. He's like, look, America is not going to, because we have this Ukrainian situation. America will not be involved in any more foreign wars. That was Trump's statement. I've heard him say it a million times. So, yes, we don't want forever wars, but we don't want wars that have anything to do with us either. And that's why, when you look at it, the whole buildup to, and then Trump saying, "Oh, I'm going to wait 2 weeks," that was another lie. And I understand, war strategy. I get that. But at the same time, you come out and you make these statements to the American people, and then 3 days later, voila, you know. So right now, I'm questioning, um, I'm questioning validity, the validity of his word. That's what I'm questioning about President Trump right now because, and I voted for Trump every single time. I stood by Trump probably a lot harder than most people, but I'm disappointed because I thought you were the president that we could actually hold you to your word. And when in 1 week, you give multiple false statements for no reason. You didn't have to say any of this. But I understand you also have to try and control the media, but don't try to control the media with lies, because that makes you exactly the same as the other politicians. So that's my suggestion.
Yep.
Oh,
I
there's
mean,
a big thing.
especially
There's a big thing here too. I saw we hit the third highest deficit month ever. And this could have been a way to force the Fed's hand to lower interest rates just enough so America can refinance several trillion dollars of debt that's rolling over this year. And this debt was actually, part of Biden's administration. They rolled it over into short-term bonds, and it's going to expire, and they have to roll it over again. They didn't roll it over to long-term bonds, so we can kick the can down the street, so to speak, as they do in Wall Street. And there's a big crisis there. You look at Doge and all these cuts that were being made to the economy, it didn't do anything.
Not,
It
not,
didn't do anything. It's still there.
they showed us how we got raped with sandpaper and didn't do a single thing. And then their response to that was, well, we were only appointed to make recommendations. So our government, who, taunted this huge Doge effect for the American people, ended up costing the American people, because we had to pay the employees of that department. And yet and still, all of the people who got 500 million for condoms and Sesame Street, people still have their money. Nobody's been put on the hot seat. Nobody's been, nobody has a case. There's no investigations. Like, this is the disappointment is piling up, because you taunted this in our face, Doge, Doge, Doge. And then the taxpayers ended up funding the employees for that department. And what did we get? Absolutely nothing. So I'm not stupid. I'm going to look at you for who you are. All you got to do is show me. And then I'm not going to question anymore, because you showed me who you are. And Trump is really showing me who he is. And, when he got into office, if you look at it, all of the big donors got their deals and their contracts before the American people got anything. We're looking at Starlight. We're looking at Palantir. We're looking at these people are now, for the next 35 years or however long their contracts are for, they are going to get taxpayer dollars now, something that we didn't actually vote for. They didn't, go through a bidding process. None of this is happening. The American people, this America First agenda, it's not about the American people. It's about BlackRock and Vanguard and people who move, the big bankers. That's what America First is. That's what Trump is doing. We need to get to the point where we're Americans first, because America
The
first.
people and by the people.
So
For the people and by the people.
exactly. So
I want to see that the people that have worked to help build this country, we the people need to come first.
exactly.
We the people need to come first.
Um,
Okay, so we have a clip.
is this your clip, Laverne?
Yeah.
The daddy clip.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, 1/4 of $1, we passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Under our forfeiture statutes, the government can take everything you own, everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you just got caught engaging in. They can take everything. I don't care why they've become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be be taken off the street. If you have
And there you have it.
That is so. Thank you, Colleen, for reposting the stream. Everybody repost the stream. Repost the stream, y'all. Come
No,
on. We
Zima,
can do this.
I know in like 10 minutes. So I just wanted to put that out there. But I do
But
want,
what did you say? Because the thing just went off.
oh no, I just wanted to say that Zima has to leave us in about 10 minutes. So um,
Okay.
wanted
So,
to,
Zima, before you leave, can you give us your information on how to reach out to you, please? And then we'll move into that clip.
Yeah. Yeah, I can go into it right now. You can reach me on X. I'm Michael Zima. I follow T. She follows me. I'm pretty easy to track down. I think one thought I wanted to piggyback off of you, Laverne, you were talking about nonprofits. And, we as entrepreneurs, we pay it forward. The only way you get ahead as an entrepreneur is you have to pay it forward to the younger generation. And I like the contrast of what you were talking about, the left and the right, because you pay them and they do nothing. Like literally, we pay them and they do nothing. But paying it forward doesn't always have to be money, right? You can actually help. I think that's a fake one, but they're cloning me. They're cloning me now.
out, geez.
Uh, uh, yeah.
Was that
And
your page,
No, that's
Mike?
a fake one.
Oh, that's
I
the
was a
fake.
fa-
Okay.
yeah,
Can you feel to find the real page, G? Go
yeah.
ahead.
It's on our website, and and if you pay it forward as an entrepreneur, it's really important. Especially what I've always believed for a long time is nonprofits are like the new startup. So you don't have to go out there and beg for money to do something. You can actually do something and build a business model that can help in your community. You just need sponsors. You need people to contribute or the mission, and you actually need yourself to execute that mission. So if you're looking to do something meaningful and you like helping people, helping animals, that's something that we do here on the side. Anything is possible. And I think that's a great way to, one, make the system work for you because you get some nice incentives having a nonprofit. You can also make a business out of it. It's not that difficult. You just have to run around, do some paperwork. So just keep the entrepreneurial spirit alive, because I think these. If you just look at the media long enough, you just feel hopeless, and you never want to cloud your mind with doubts. You want to feel hopeful that you can do anything yourself. Just really, you can just manifest anything. It's amazing.
You for the information because when it comes to funding, everything is so competitive, and with a lot of the smaller organizations, we spend a lot of time just trying to run the program, and a lot of times they have a small staff. You don't have enough people to do everything that you need to have done, so funding is always an issue. And I see that with a lot of the smaller organizations, especially now with a lot of the pots being cut. So
Right.
that is his page, y'all. So if you need some
Follow.
help, please reach out to him. He's an online marketing expert on driving business growth. There
Exactly.
you have it.
Um, I do need to talk to you about my project. So, um, but yeah,
Yeah, and I'll try to get on that project too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's a big one. You might be able to. Let's see what you can offer. Let's see what you can do. I'm serious. Like I'm into team building, because
Heck yeah.
yeah, I'm
I'm
definitely.
into music and all that. So,
Oh, for real?
oh yeah, we'll
What
talk
are
later.
you doing?
Oh well, I mean, right now I'm mostly into Christian music because that's just what I do, and through church and everything. So, but I mean, I like all kinds of music. I'm big alternative rock kind of thing and hip hop,
Okay.
but I like R&B, jazz,
Do you like?
all that. I play. Oh yeah. Oh, I love the Eagles.
Okay.
Love the Eagles. I play the saxophone too, so I'll have to do that for y'all sometime.
Oh, Bill Clinton.
Yep. Nah. Uh, yeah, something like that. Without the intern.
Right, right, right. No, so I don't have any more clips. So
Well, we had just played that last clip, but
Yeah,
we didn't talk
about
about it.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Halford,
Mm,
jail for thee, but not for me. What that is, but that's across politics. That's all across political lines. It's if you look at what's Congress and COVID, not a single member of Congress had to take the COVID shot. And they are pushing these agendas to where even if you looked at the younger Como, who said, we need Black people and Latino people to take this shot first.
Right, right.
And this is why I'm saying to everybody, and Zima is a really good witness to this because he made his money and packed up and went to Spain and now lives on the beach on an island. But
nice.
get
You
your
know, I
yeah.
saw this clip, right? And it was an old black lady. And I know somebody had to pay this chick. But she had a lot of pools somewhere in Alabama. So they got in contact with her. And because the people in this particular town, the black people was not getting that shot. Nobody was getting that shot. So they talked this old black woman into convincing all them black people in that town to get that shot. And they was like, well, it's Mama so and so said get it. I wasn't gonna get it, but now since she says get it, I think I'll go ahead on and try it. And I'm saying to myself, why? Why? And even today, you have died suddenly, where they show you everybody that died suddenly that got that shot. So why are people even in today's as of 626 still even entertaining that vaccine? Why? Well, I didn't get this one, but I got the other one. I think that's a lot safer. No, it's not. It's not. So, people, do your homework. Just stop believing everything you see on the media. Stop believing that you need all of those shots. Look for other alternative means and measures. Oh, people, please. Please do your homework.
You know what the homework is? The homework is building yourself to where you can make enough money to where it won't matter who's in office because nobody will be able to
Hmm.
tell you what the fuck to do because you have fuck
That's
you.
right.
That's the homework. Get your
And
Yep.
fuck you money, okay?
yeah,
Because
but Travian, I'm talking about the older people
oh
that are settled in their ways.
yeah, yeah,
Most of them are in retirement. They ain't got no fucking life but to go to the damn doctor's appointment.
See you
Oh, the
later, everyone.
doctor gave me an appointment.
Bye.
Oh,
out,
I'll be in there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's their whole damn life to go to the damn doctor's appointment, and the next person he made an appointment for, and the next one to go to another one of his friends to look at your hip. This one gonna look at your arm. This one gonna look at your lungs. But you smoking like a fucking train, but you still going there anyway. And it's just like a redundant cycle that they go through. And then when you try to talk to them about it, they think you don't know what the fuck you talking about because you're not a doctor. Well, that's not what my doctor told me.
right.
But at least
The doctors,
talk to other doctors.
the doctor,
Talk to other doctors.
the doctor needs clients, so he's going to do whatever to make you a long-term patient. So
That part.
if that's the case, he's not healing you. He is
Thank
expecting
you.
you to be a long-term patient, so he's hurting you, or he or she, or they or them. So hospitals are not for me. I do a lot between me and Laverne. We've got our own talk shows going on left and right. I run marathons. I train 5 days a week. I love to dance. All those, just to stay healthy with all the stressors that I have in my professional life. But yeah, the cheat code is, taking care of you. That way you don't get pulled into the system of forever doctors. And as people get older, like Laverne said, you got an oncologist, you've got a arthritis doctor, you have a lung doctor, all of these different systems are set up to
To
just
fuck you up. To fuck
right,
your ass up. And then you be sitting around wondering why in the fuck you can't breathe. And you stay your ass out that damn office, you'll probably be able to inhale. Okay,
Well,
probably
you
be
know,
able to inhale.
a
Yeah.
lot of people that died from COVID died because they put them on the ventilators in the hospitals. So they put
And
them
the
on the ventilators.
Respidoll. They gave those
Yeah.
people Respidoll that
Mhm.
flooded their fucking lungs, and
Yeah.
it's like they
And they
drowned
drowned.
right there, drowned. But they think they died for COVID. So if they think somebody, a family member, whoever died from COVID, you can't even hold that conversation with them because they don't want to hear this shit. No, that's not what my doctor said.
Yep.
My doctor said
Yep.
he died from COVID. And you ain't no doctor, so how in the hell you know? You
But
know,
people who died from COVID had a pre-existing condition, which
right.
COVID actually latched onto. COVID didn't kill anybody. If you just get
Right.
COVID, you're going to survive. All of these people had a pre-existing condition, and that protein, spike protein, penetrated the cells and took them out. So all of these, and I have three friends, like I said it on the show before, they all own funeral homes, and they were getting paid to recommend that the cause of death was
Was
COVID
COVID.
so that they would
Wow.
get more money, and these
Wow.
are coming from my firsthand friends who own funeral homes. So the whole thing was a game. Your
Yeah.
government killed you. And that's enough. I'll go back to that. Stop trusting your government. Trump will say
Stop, people.
he
Stop.
don't trust
Please stop
nobody.
trusting your government.
Exactly. Your government killed you. So when people
Mhm.
say, "Oh, I trust Trump no matter what," fuck that.
Mm-mm.
Trust anybody no matter what.
Yeah.
Trump
And
will say, "I don't trust anybody." So if Trump don't trust nobody, it probably means because he can't trust himself. So
right.
that's what I'm just gonna say. Look, stop trusting your government. It was your government that killed you.
Yeah.
The government that didn't allow you to go to your grandmother's funeral. It was the government that made you so brainwashed where you thought you needed to stand 6 feet away from everybody.
And
You
it was your
Yeah.
government that had your ass scared to go the fuck outside.
Right. Yeah. And they
It was
think
your
that when they put
government.
Trump in
It was
office,
your government. Your government. But actually, by going outside around people was helping your body to build up a self-defense to be able to fight off stuff. Because our bodies are built to help cure itself with so many different things. How many times do people go to the hospital and the doctor say, I really hate to tell you this, ma'am, but you got cancer. And
right,
then, about a damn whole 2 weeks later, they dead. Just because of getting that bad news. And I know people that this has actually happened to. You know what I'm saying? So your
yeah.
mind is a terrible thing. So, but the thing is, it's this. Always seek second, third opinions from other people, holistic doctors doing a healthy way of doing things instead of injecting all of that poison into your system. You know, just
Hmm.
like listen to the commercials themselves. They have one that's eye drops for the eyes. If your eyes are dry, please try these eye drops. And then at the end, they come back and say it may cause retina or whatever it is, retinal. What it is? As for your eye sockets to pop the fuck out. You think I'm getting ready to put that shit in my motherfucking eye? May cause retinal detachment in your eye. You think I'm getting ready to put some shit in my eye that's gonna cause my fucking eye to detach? Are you like kidding me right now? Hell no, that
Only
shit ain't gonna.
25% chance.
Yeah, okay. And then look, they got Jardis, right? The little happy commercial where everybody just dancing. Jardis, get this, Jardis, right? Everybody got on the watch your A1C with Jardis, right? Okay. Then when the commercial, like in the commercial, when they get to the quiet where they stop talking and they just telling you about the side effects.
right.
I'm telling you about the side effects of jaundice, right? And one is that it causes a little tiny scab to come up in your anus, which is right in the crack of your butt cheeks, and it itches like hell. But they don't talk about that on that damn commercial. They do kind of mention it. Seriously. It costs this little
What do
scab.
they call it?
I don't know
Do
what
they
the hell
call it a
they
little
call
butt scab?
scab that come
They
up and
cause a
right in
little
the
butt
middle
scab.
of your ass, and it's gonna start itching. So if you taking jaundice and right in the center of your crack in the middle of your ass is itching, you keep walking around scratching that shit like, damn, what the hell? Why my ass keep itching? You know, because that's and you on and your doctor gave you jaundice. That's one of the side effects. Now
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you the another huge side effect of jaundice. It says it will cause your balls to swell and turn red. Seriously. Seriously. So if your balls all swole up and you got diabetes, you need to go check that thing out. If they itchy and red, they itchy and red, your nuts itchy and red, your butt cheek is itchy right in the middle with that scab, you need to go check out that jaundice. Seriously. Seriously. So all this stuff got all these
Any,
side effects,
mm.
but y'all still taking it. You still taking it, and you don't know what's going on with you, and you don't know why.
Why
I'm
my balls swollen?
y'all
My
out.
balls
That's why
swollen
I
and my
got the
butt
show.
itches.
I'm gonna help y'all out. But go ahead.
And so when I was in boot camp, uh, one of my rack mates comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, no homo, but can you look at something for me?" And he pulls out his balls, and they were swollen uh, like a softball. Like there was something wrong, and I was like, "Oh shit, you need to get that checked out." But that reminded me of that. That's yeah. Whenever your balls are swollen,
Wasn't
you always
taking
get that checked
Jarvis, was
out. You
you?
don't. It was no. It was he had like a some kind of vein or something got wrapped up, and he said this actually pretty hot nurse had to like adjust them and like get it untangled or whatever. So it was pretty nice for him, I think. But yeah, anytime your balls are swollen, you take that seriously. You don't just sit around and be like, man, balls are a lot bigger today than they were yesterday. I don't know why, but
Oh my God.
yeah,
Whew,
go to the doctor.
I think, are we ending the show on swollen balls? What's going
Or butt
You know,
scabs.
I
I don't
want
know,
people
one of
to
the
know
two.
about the side effects of these medicines because, when things like this start happening to you, you're not thinking it's my medication because, you just thinking that your medication is working for you and it's doing the right thing that you needed to do. But
Yeah.
who checks the side effects of this stuff out? You know, because
Mm.
your butt could be itching all the time, but you're not thinking, oh, it's the jar that I'm taking. You're not thinking that because you're just scratching and you're not even thinking about something that's actually going on, you know? And whoop, there it is, right on the TV, but right there in that commercial, that little print, but you just never paid attention to it. Somebody said Trump putting them out.
Well, also, we have these congressional hearings coming up. And I don't know why we're having congressional hearings when there's nobody being investigated and you know nobody's going to jail. Like we don't even need to have these congressional hearings. You haven't pressed charges against anybody. You haven't named anybody for any of these crimes against the American people. I'm looking at government right now is just a farce because what is our direct government? That's why I'm telling everybody your real power is running in your local government because you can control what happens to you directly and immediately. You don't have to go through all the red tape of, you know, this person not wanting to come to work to put in a vote. All of that's eradicated. You know, if you want things to change and you want to change them, your local government is the real power because you will affect your neighborhood in one stroke of a pen. You can do that. So our federal government right now is just a joke. All of it's a joke. I'm looking at how many millions of dollars have gone out to APAC candidates. People who have taken money from the Israel lobby because that's what APAC
A
is.
list of that. Didn't they have a list of names?
They do.
Yeah,
They
They
have
it's
had a list of
everybody. Pretty
names
much
out
everybody, isn't
for
it?
everybody
it's pretty.
that I saw it
Except
somewhere.
Thomas Massey and Margaret Taylor Greene are the only two federal candidate or office holders that have not taken money from APAC. And
Right.
John F. Kennedy wanted to name this as a terrorist organization because he was able to see how that Israel lobby was going to affect America. And then 2 weeks later, he was assassinated. So, and that's a record that Trump put out, and Mossad in Israel is all through that record of JFK's assassination. So APAC is the biggest threat to our government. It's the biggest threat to Americans. It's the biggest threat to our progress. Until we can eradicate APAC and Trump, if he was really for Americans, that would be something that he would do. But just to put it in context, Trump has taken over $230 million from the Israel lobby, and no president should be lobbied by a foreign country. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah, no politician should. No congressional politician. Nobody should.
$230 million Trump has taken from APAC.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people, Trump, for everything that's good about him, a lot of people got to remember, even if you support him, that he's not a savior. He's not a saint, and he's not going to be. Of course, there was things from his first term that really pissed me off, and really, I was done with Trump, to be honest with you. But it was when they started going after him with the law, and that's something that I couldn't let stand. You can't, because that's a precedent that you can't let stand, and that's why I supported Trump. But yeah, we still got to, these other things that are not good, and realize that the government is big, and Trump by himself isn't going to be able to just snap his fingers and change something. So
well,
yeah, we all.
And he's done quite a few executive orders.
Well, yeah, but then the courts come in and try to undo it. He gets fought, every corner he turns, he's getting fought by somebody in the courts, and they're using the courts.
Right.
But yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, you're a victim of it, and that was what happened to you is part of what caused me to support Trump so much and support you and everybody else who is going through that, because that is just absolutely unacceptable in our nation. What happened to you guys?
Well, I have a call in about 4 minutes, so I don't know where Laverne went. Hey, Laverne.
No, I'm right here.
Okay.
I'm right here. I'm holding on.
Okay.
Somebody said, "Thank you, Madam President. God's not dead. Reports this street." That's right. God's not dead. Reports this street. I also like that other name up there. When retires, FAFO. That's the name of his thing. When retires, fuck around and find out. Okay, we see you in the house too. So we would like to thank everybody for joining us today. We don't want Travian to disappear off the screen without giving us a few words. So go ahead, Travian.
So thank you all. Want to thank Zima for coming on, and Based and Bias. We don't know your real name. We just know you as Based and Bias. I follow him because I think he's a voice of reason on X. And I'm really happy that you elected to come on and join us today. Thank you so much for your input. Thank you for your service in the military. Just thank you for, not falling for the okey doke and having a mind of your own. So yes, thank you so much.
Well, thank
and
you.
Thank you, Based and Bias. And I just got one more thing to say. That's it, and I'm finished. Go ahead.
Well, we can let Base say his closing remarks.
Yeah, go ahead on Based and Bias. Say your thing.
All right. Well, my name's Matt Ham, by the way.
Okay,
so
Matt,
just so y'all
nice
know,
to
you can call me. Yeah, it's no big secret. It's out there. But no, thank y'all for having me on. I really do appreciate it, genuinely. I've had a good time. Y'all are fun to talk to. So I hope we can do this again. And thank you both for what you do. So I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on today, and thank you for the other young man that was here. And thank you, people that joined in for the Hood Conservative. We thank all you hoodies for coming in the house. We thank all the hoodies in the house. Okay. Um, and thank you everybody that reposted the show. And before we close, I just want to give y'all one more medical concern for medication that I have. Just one more medication, y'all. Okay. Once again, if you're a diabetic and your doctor prescribes you metformin. They put metformin out, and that's what they was giving to all the diabetic patients, right? But if you haven't had metformin and your doctor prescribes that medication for you, I just want you to be ready, have on some running track shoes, because that thing is going to make you run to the bathroom so fast that you wouldn't even imagine. And when you get there, you're gonna feel like a rocket blast just took off from your butt, like it just blast off. It's like you sitting there and you got to hold on to that toilet seat because that thing just boom for like a rocket blast from out of nowhere. So I just want y'all to know that if they give you metformin, baby, you got something to look forward to. I hope you ain't on no cane walker, wheelchair, or none of that, baby, because you're gonna hit the road real fast. If you're on your cane, if you got a cane, I hope you can sprint a little faster, baby, because let me tell you something. You're going to get a
You
good
be
workout
slipping
on that
sliding.
platform. Oh, you're going to
You be
slip,
slipping
slide.
sliding in it.
You're going to rock to the left. You're going to rock to the right. And, baby, that rocket blast going to come for you. And then when you get through with that, your booty just feels so oily. Like somebody just went the oil, slapped it down with the Diddy baby oil, baby.
Mm,
That thing there, that metformin is something else. Jesus.
mm.
I'm telling you, you
Ooh,
can never imagine
ooh,
metformin.
All
So
right.
just
Yep.
to let you
No,
know,
you're right. I could never
oh,
imagine that.
baby, I didn't even know it went down like that till they prescribed that stuff for me. That's
ooh,
how I
Lord.
found out. Woo, Lord, I had to take off running too fast.
Oh,
But
man.
anyway, let me tell y'all something. Thank y'all for joining the show today. And join us next week. We're gonna try to come on Monday now. We're gonna try to come
Yeah,
on Monday at 7, right, Travia?
we're
We're gonna
Monday.
try to make it about Monday at 7, y'all. So please join us Monday at 7. G, if it's possible, we need you to make it happen without any Twitter hiccups. Cause y'all know sometimes we be ready to come on the show and then we get a surprise on top of our other surprises. Okay. So we just telling y'all to join us for the show. When y'all get on, retweet that show. And then after that, leave us some comments in the section because we love to hear from you all. And if you would like to join us, please inbox Travia, inbox me so you can come on the show. And yes, white people, you are welcome on the Hood Conservative Show.
All
That's
the
right. White people are welcome right here. And everybody is welcome right here. I don't care if you don't hardly speak no damn English. We can translate for your ass right on the Hood Conservative Show right here. So please join us next week. Same place, same time. And look, Mr. Oscar Spicer just appeared in the room, but
hey,
I'm not going to use any profanity today. And I
okay.
know he don't need no ice right now.
I know,
No,
right?
I just came to say that. They
Uh,
said no white people walk with your white ass up there.
Oh, don't you start no shit. So anyway, I'm gonna close the door, close the show because he trying to get me started. And see y'all next week right here, the Laverne Spicer Show.
Thank you. Bye bye.
And my
Bye.
co-host Travia.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Laverne Spicer, and I'm asking for your support today. Thousands of Americans struggle to get food, and they wonder where their next meal is going to come from. But I'm here, been working with them for over 25 years to provide food to people that need it the most, right here at our community food bank. So today, I'm asking you for your support. Please provide a contribution to help make a real difference in our community and to help us feed people. And you can do it right here. Donate today on Cash App. And you will see the link above.